Synonymy and polysemy, those are two of the major causes of vocabulary mismatch. Remember, we're talking about why queries don't match documents. And one of the big reasons is that in almost any language, you will have different words that mean the same thing, and you also have a single word that can mean multiple things in different contexts. So words like car, automobile, and vehicle all refer to the same thing with some distinction, right? But they all mean pretty much the same thing. They discuss the same subject. This works for words. It also works for phrases, right? So banking crisis and financial meltdown, they refer to the same thing. They refer to the same subject. So ideally, you want to be able to recognize if the user's query contains banking crisis and the document says financial meltdown, that should be a match. Right? And of course, they are not a match on the surface. Polysemy is the flip side of that coin. That's when you have a single word that has different meanings depending on what context it occurs in. So bank, it could be river bank, it could be bank that has money in it, it could be the memory bank, right? Same thing with a tank. So tank could refer to a fish tank, or a military vehicle, or a storage container for gasoline, for example. So synonymy and polysemy create lots of problems when you're trying to match queries to documents, because users will not necessarily put the right words in the query. This could be due to different reasons. So they may not be aware of the right language to use. So for example, if you're searching a specific database, a medical database, you wouldn't know which terms to use. You will probably use layman terms, whereas you should be using more specific terms. It also happens when users are not fluent with the language in which they're searching, right? So maybe it's a second language to them, maybe they just don't know the right words. An extreme example of this is cross-language retrieval. So this is the case when the user doesn't speak the language at all. Now, if that happens, you might be wondering, well, why is this user searching that collection of documents anyway? Somebody who's not an Arabic speaker, why would they ever want to search a database of Arabic documents? And there are actually a number of reasons why. So if you happen to be strolling along the desert and you find a bunker full of Arabic records, then there are individuals who will be quite interested in finding certain parts of that archive, because once they find them, they can give them to somebody who will translate it for them, right? Or just put them into Google Translate. You can't pipe terabytes of data into Google Translate. It's just not scalable enough. Right. So it is a big problem. And the mismatch, it's made even worse by the fact that most of the queries that you see on the web are very short, right? Google encourages you to keep your queries very, very short because it works well for them for many reasons. But such short queries make it very hard to disambiguate what the user is really looking for, because there isn't enough context around the words to infer the meaning.